Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build out your perfect day. In other words, we want to try to help you create the optimal daily routine to become the best version of yourself and achieve your goals. So, basically, what we did was we compiled all the things that we typically do and have incorporated into our daily lifestyles to try to create an optimal kind of routine that you can follow, things that you need to implement and do day in and day out until you achieve your goals and just experience a way better quality of life. So to start out, I want to start, your perfect day actually begins the night before. So in order to have a great day, you need to plan and schedule your day the night before, or else you're going to start your day not knowing when and what you're going to be doing all day. So some people do prefer they can do this in the morning if you make the time. So for example, if you do wake up early enough, you could journal and write down, okay, what am I going to do today and what time? But I find that if you do it the night before, it's out of your mind and on paper and plan, and then you can actually fall asleep and stay asleep easier because you're not having to stress about the things that you need to do the next day. So that's why I usually recommend that. We'll just kind of build off of this. So we've started your day by planning and scheduling. What are some things that you might put on your schedule, you guys?
So it'd be like the top 3 things I need to get done the next day, or maybe it's more depending on the day. And then for the schedule, like I schedule when I'm going to work out, which is pretty similar depending on what day it is. If there's certain people that I need to get in contact with or train, I write that kind of things down. But I use an app. I use Google Calendar, so it kind of schedules it out for me. I don't have to write it down. But if I do have specific things, I will write it down the day before. That way I know I can just start executing when I wake up.
Yeah, so I also use Google Calendar, which is great because if you work the same shifts every week, you can kind of have it so that it goes to every week or whatever. But yeah, just scheduling out when I work, when I have clients. I literally schedule out what time to wake up, which is usually the same every single day. I schedule out time in the morning to journal and just take time for myself while I drink my coffee. I schedule out kind of when to be off my phone at the end of the day, and just literally everything in between, when to work out. Sometimes I schedule when to eat so that I don't forget to eat. But literally my whole entire day is scheduled out in my phone, and then I also either will, if I have other additional things to do, I can write them out on a sticky note in the office, or I write them down in the notes section of my phone.
Yeah, perfect. So just to add on to that before we move on to the next part, try to have a consistent kind of bedtime and wake time. So when you are planning out your day for the next day, don't stay up all night watching Netflix, because then you're most likely going to want to sleep in or hit snooze the next day and not start off your day how you planned. So if you're going to plan out your day, do it an hour or 2 before bed, and then have a plan to unwind, go to bed at a consistent time. So for most people, if they wake up, let's say around 6 a.m. or something, they want to try to maybe be in bed or to bed by maybe 10 p.m. So you go to bed at 10, and then you want to try to wake up consistently at the same time. If you're kind of all over the place, it's going to make it really hard, just energy-wise. If you're waking up at 5 a.m. one day, 7 a.m. the next day, weekends you sleep in super late, you're not on a consistent routine, and it just makes life a lot harder that way. So try to wake up more consistently, and don't hit snooze. The moment you hit snooze is basically you're saying, I'm not ready to start the day, basically. So try not to hit snooze, and then wake up. And we recommend the first thing you should do when you wake up, if the first thing you do is you go to the bathroom to brush your teeth or take a shower, have a bottle of water or a shaker cup and drink 12 to 16 ounces of water immediately. This is going to help get you hydrated for the day, clear a little bit of that brain fog and grogginess when you first wake up, because throughout the night your body's using up the water that you drank the previous day, and you're actually waking up slightly dehydrated because you need that water. So replenishing water first thing in the morning is definitely going to help get you going on the right start, especially doing it before you have the morning coffee. So it's okay to still have your coffee. We know that you might need some caffeine to get going, but don't just run to the coffee pot because you're super tired and groggy and chug down a cup or two of coffee. So try to have your water before that. Another thing you could do is just set your water bottle next to the coffee pot, and then you'll see it and you'll remember, okay, I need to drink my 12 to 16 ounces of water, and then I can have my coffee. So that's my next biggest tip.
Yeah, that's what I do in the morning. Is it takes like 15 minutes for our coffee pot to brew, so I get it ready and everything, and I'm drinking my water as I'm getting it ready and waiting for it to start brewing. So then that way I get my water in. But I really do look forward to my cup of coffee in the morning. I like the taste, I like the boost from the caffeine, and you can kind of avoid some of that mental brain fog, kind of like you had mentioned, Taylor, with having that water right away in the morning. It's so crazy how such a small difference can really impact that plus the rest of your day. And trying to get most of your water intake in the morning, like probably before noon, I would recommend, because in that way you're not like chugging water in the afternoon. So having that water, that full bottle or glass right away in the morning kind of just helps to kickstart your water drinking and kickstart all the body processes to start the day.
Yeah, I always, like, whenever my coffee's brewing, I make sure to drink water. It does make a huge difference in your day. And then another thing I want to kind of add while you're drinking your water or whatever you have in the morning, like, you can literally just take 10 minutes to kind of just, like, do something good for your own mindset. So you can journal, you can just write out, like, 5 things that you're grateful for every day, or just, like, do something that makes you kind of like get in a good mindset and make you feel better about yourself. I definitely notice the days that I don't do that, you're just kind of a little bit more, I don't know, not as happy maybe, or just not as with it. Like, I just feel better when I take time to just like sit there and think about what I'm grateful for. Just we were gonna end with like talking about your whys, but maybe you remind yourself of your whys first thing in the morning. Whatever you kind of need to do to just get yourself in a positive mindset so that you can tackle the rest of your day.
Yeah. I always wake up and the first thing I do, like after I've gotten ready and I drink my water and I have another little, I don't drink coffee in the morning, but I have something called Early Bird, which is basically caffeine and vitamins and antioxidants and stuff. And then I'll sit down on the couch and I'll usually look up a motivational quote and I'll start my day with a motivational quote. It actually does have a gratitude journal in the app, so you could write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And that does definitely put you in the right frame of mind for the day. It kind of almost like gives you more purpose for your day. So it's like you're reminding yourself of what you're doing, why you're doing it, why all the things that you have to be grateful for. And then it tends to help you not focus on all the things that you have to try to get done. People try to only think about the negative stuff. They don't think enough about the positive things in life. Like the opportunity to go work out instead of like, oh, I have to go work out. Changing that frame of mind, being more positive to start your day is definitely going to help you have a much better day and stay on track with that too. So next we can kind of move into like your nutrition. So we recommend, we don't try to make it super difficult. Like there's a lot of nutritionists and people that recommend like 4 to 6 small meals throughout the day is a great way to do it, but it's not realistic for most people. We still kind of live by that rule, but instead of having 4 to 6 small meals, we consider it more like your breakfast, lunch, dinner, so your 3 main meals, and then just a snack in between your meals and possibly after dinner. So 3 meals and 2 snacks, maybe a third, depending on how many calories you need or how much you ate during that day. So try to have, talking about planning your day the night before, try to have, okay, what am I going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do I have it prepped? Do I need to make it? Etc. Try to have that planned out, and then try to always have simple, easy, like healthy snacks available at all times, because you never know when stuff might happen. So for us, we try to always have really easy snacks with us all the time for in between clients. Things come up where you might get a short lunch or maybe you miss breakfast. At least you'll have a snack that you can do. And with those meals, we recommend trying to get protein, carbs, fats, and veggies, or at least try to get 3 of the 4 out of those 4 categories. And then you can always make up the other ones with snacks. So For example, you want to try to get about 4 to 6 ounces of protein. Most of the time for men, it's going to be closer to 6. Women might be closer to 4. You could also use the size of your palm, so you can kind of measure it out by looking at your palm. You want to try to get about a fist-sized serving of vegetables, about a thumb-sized serving of fat. So you think about your oils or your butter, like peanut butter, or maybe like a serving of almonds or walnuts, about the size of your thumb, and then a cupped handful or the size of your hand for your carbs. So a cupped handful could be your oats, your rice, the size of your hand could be like your potatoes, sweet potato, things like that. So a very easy way to measure stuff for your meals, you can use your hand, or obviously you could measure it out, 4 to 6 ounces of protein, and then it'd be about a cup to a cup and a half of your carbs and your vegetables, and then fats would be probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons. So either way, you can measure it out with either your hand or using a measurement tool.
Yeah, that's a really good recommendation as far as, some people like to be super exact with it if they like the macros route. Some people, they don't want to track macros at all. So for me, I like to at least have people getting protein like 3 to 5 times a day. So like if they're able to get the high protein snacks, I think that's what people struggle with the most. So whether that's a protein shake, which is super easy on the go, protein bars, and maybe like some carrot sticks as a snack to add a little bit of veggies, or maybe some cut up fruit that you could get in there. You could do the Greek yogurt packs with maybe like a fruit and nut trail mix. Something like that would be a really good high protein snack that would just help to kind of sustain you throughout the day, keep you fueled, not just for the like physical benefit, but also the mental as well. Because if you're having like a super high calorie, high carb breakfast in the morning, you can kind of get like mood swings and energy dips and swings all throughout the day. And if you're only eating one meal, you might have low energy all day until you finally eat. So having those meals spread out with those snacks in between, probably where you're either the hungriest or maybe around your workout or something like that, that's probably what's going to help the best. Like for me, I like to eat a little bit later in the morning, so I don't eat like right away when I wake up. I eat around like 9 o'clock for the first meal or snack, and then I tend to eat more like the afternoon and evening, and that just kind of works best for me.
Yeah, I always say just if you do nothing else, prioritize protein. Like it doesn't always happen perfectly, but you want to try to get protein with pretty much every meal and every snack if you can. I mean, if you can do that, you're just going to feel better, you're going to feel more full, you're going to just notice physical changes, even more energy, everything. I just think protein's awesome, and especially women tend to lack protein way more than men. And so literally getting protein in whenever you can. Like last night, for example, I got some Girl Scout cookies, and I wanted a few of the cookies, but it's hard sometimes when you have a box of cookies like that to only eat a few, right? Like I'm human too, and I'm pregnant, so I want to eat a lot of Girl Scout cookies. So what I did was I had 3 boxes, so I took 1 of each. I had 3 cookies, and then I made up a protein shake to drink with it. I drank my protein shake first, and then I had the cookies, and then I didn't feel like I needed to sit there and snack on a bunch more cookies. And that's the same thing, like if you want, I don't know, something, maybe a snack that's higher in carbs or whatever it is, chips even if you're a chip person, like you don't have to totally like cut those completely out of your diet. It's just like finding other things to go with them. So having something high in protein with it so that you're full and you don't eat the whole bag of chips. And then, you also can make results and eat what you like.
Yeah, protein's very satiating. That's why protein shakes are so popular. So that's a very good tip, actually. It's like mix up a protein shake, because actually they do taste really good too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know a lot of people probably have had their fair share of bad tasting proteins, and they've come a long way. Like if you haven't tried a protein shake in a long time, like get some. Most of them are delicious anymore, and it can actually help cure the sweet tooth a little bit, probably. So I know for me, like my favorite meals are my morning smoothie, where I have the vanilla ice cream flavored protein with my oats and my walnuts, spinach, and blueberries and all that stuff to start my day, and it's delicious. I look forward to it every single morning, and I've been doing it for like 3 years. So for those people that are like, I can't eat or drink the same thing every single day, I've been doing it for like 3 years and I still love it, so it's still really good. Same thing with the oats. I do vanilla protein with oats, and it's kind of like a dessert at night. So going into We talked about the nutrition. We could probably touch a little bit on like kind of working your nutrition around your workouts. So if you work out in the morning, you might not want to have a big breakfast right before you work out. You might just want to have a little snack. So that could be like your first snack. Maybe just like a banana and like a bar or some nuts, like something pretty light. That would be probably the best thing to do pre-workout. And then after your workout is when you can have your breakfast that's high in protein, carbs, and then you can always throw some veggies and fats in there. If you do work out in the afternoon, we would recommend kind of the same thing, like have a light snack before you work out. After you work out, you can have your dinner. Or if it's going to be a while before you eat, try to have like a protein shake with some carbs. So you do like a banana and protein after your workout too. That's going to help with your workout recovery.
Yeah, and as far as timing goes, like 1 to 2 hours before your workout, you want to have something in your stomach. So like if it's from work and you're going to work out after work at like 5, you would want to have like a small snack or a meal around 3. And then like if it's right away in the morning, it's okay if it's like, you know, a half hour or an hour before. If it's kind of closer to your workout, then that's when you want that like smaller snack. And then as long as you're getting that protein and carbs around your workout, you don't really have to worry about like right after my workout I have to drink a protein shake. That's kind of a myth at this point, but as long as you get protein and carbs around your workout within 1 to 2 hours, you'll be getting all the benefits of that quote unquote anabolic window. And then also a tip, if you are craving some cookies or something that's like a little bit more unhealthy, have that as a post-workout, because since the blood flow is going to your muscles, like it helps to kind of replenish those glycogen stores, and you're not going to like get as much of a sugar crash from it as well. So that's another little like tip hack if you are having some cravings.
I usually eat breakfast like an hour and a half to 2 hours before my workout, just depending on what I'm eating, I guess, for breakfast. Like certain things I can eat a little bit closer to my workout, certain things I can't. You just kind of have to play around with it and see. I like to most days go home and have a protein shake after my workout. You don't have to, but like I just found one that I really like that's like chocolatey and just tastes really good after my workout. So I have that, and then like an hour later I'll like make a meal after I've showered, and that's when I'll actually eat. But I mean, that's kind of more of a preference thing. Like you don't have to have a protein shake, you can kind of have whatever, but that is the best time to kind of like eat a cookie or something like that. But also another tip that I have is like, if like, just so that you don't kind of go in your cupboard and just eat everything like when you get home from the workout because you're starving after workout, like have something kind of like prepared. Either have a meal prep or have your protein shake so that you're not just like mindlessly eating those cookies or snacking on stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to completely ruin your whole purpose of your workout. So good tips there, and just play around with it. You'll have to kind of come up with your own plan depending on when you work out. Everybody works out different times and stuff, but just some other tips that kind of go along with the nutrition, with starting your day, planning your day. We mentioned trying to have like most of your water first thing in the morning, so I would recommend drinking water throughout the day, but try to start your day with water, and then if you have to, put right in your phone like an alarm that goes off every hour or so to have a couple drinks of water if you're somebody that struggles with that. And then also try to avoid caffeine after noon or after 2 p.m. at the latest. So caffeine is something that obviously a lot of us drink throughout the day just to stay focused and get through the day highly productive. But if you have a lot of caffeine or even just some caffeine after noon or after 2 p.m., it's going to be in your system and still cycling when you get ready for bed, which can help, or which will hinder you from being able to fall asleep and stay asleep and get into that deep and REM sleep that you want. So try to avoid caffeine. And then also talking about before bed, I wouldn't recommend eating a giant meal and drinking a lot of water right before bed, because then you're going to be digesting and you're going to have to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which for some people like me, I kind of do that just to get my calories in. So it's not going to work for everyone, but it does help you get a better night's sleep if you can avoid drinking and eating about an hour or two before bed. And then on top of that, my other big tip is going to be no screens 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed, just to help you unwind. This can be where you're going back to your planning. So these two mentioned that they use Google Calendar. I also use Google Calendar for my weekly recurring events. So my work, my clients, workouts, the things that are always the same time, I have blocked off. But then every day I try to come up with 3 things that I should do or want to do. So maybe you write down those things that you need to do for each individual day, or just journal and write down anything. You can read. Very, very good thing that we talk about as far as mindset goes is reading something before you go to bed, just to help you unwind and help you learn. It's great for the brain and the mind as well. So that is just a couple more of my tips, and we've got a few more, but I'll let these guys share their tips.
Yeah, and kind of to piggyback off of, I know we're going back to the morning, but with the no phones, like 30 to 60 minutes before bed, no social media right away in the morning. I think a lot of people, they start their morning routine like they're scrolling Facebook or Instagram and drinking coffee, but if you think about what's on there, it's not a lot of positive stuff. It's a lot of negative, and it just kind of like wears on like your brain and your dopamine system, so you don't have a lot of motivation going forward in the rest of your day. It kind of drains you a little bit. So my recommendation is to at least like the first hour of waking, like no phones. Like honestly the longer the better. Like if you just went on social media, maybe like at the end of the day, like you have everything else done, and then use that as like a reward for getting everything done. That would be my kind of recommendation for that. You're gonna feel way better, have better mood, better productivity throughout the day. So just an all-around better thing, and like you're not gonna miss anything on social media. Like if you check it every day, like you're not gonna miss anything big. And if there really is something big, you'll hear about it from someone else. And another tip is, so like general recommendation, I'm not sure if we touched on this, was half your body weight in ounces of water. So like if you're 150 pounds, it'd be 75 ounces, 200 pounds, 100 ounces, and then you want to add 16 to 20 ounces for every hour that you work out. A sweating workout. So if you're just like walking casually and you're really not sweating or working that hard, you don't have to add very much more than that. But if you're in the gym going pretty intensely, like depending on how much you sweat too, if you're someone who just like they're doing their warm up and they just start dripping sweat, then you're probably gonna need some more water. But stay around that 16 to 20 ounce range during your workout, and that'll help to just like
just drink a full shaker throughout your whole workout and you'll be good pretty much.
Yeah, right. So that's, you're just sipping on it throughout your workout. Like you don't have to like chug water. Because so the tip is, the faster you take in your water, the faster it leaves you. So if you're chugging a bunch of water, like it's gonna be flying out in 15 minutes. But if you sip on it, then you don't have to go to the bathroom every 15 minutes. So that's, I think some people, when they take their pre-workout and they just like chug it, then they have to pee like 15 minutes afterwards. Yep. So that's another tip, is like maybe slow down a little bit and you won't have to pee so often.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with
Unless
that
you.
too. So I just want to kind of say, like, we just said we were going to kind of end with like, don't overcomplicate things. Like just take it one day at a time, take it one thing at a time. I think it really comes down to just planning. I think that is like the biggest thing. Like a lot of people just struggle because they don't have time, or they just get overwhelmed with work or whatever it is. But I also think a lot of people like don't plan out their day, so they don't like, I don't know. I don't know how people don't plan out their day. I'm such a planner. Like I know exactly when I'm gonna work out. I got stuck in my driveway this morning and that set me back, and I was like, I have to get in. I have to work out right now. And things do happen, but for the most part, like planning out your day just really can help you just kind of like get those things off your mind so you sleep better. So if you're doing it the night before, you're gonna sleep better, and then you're just gonna feel so much more productive when you get to the next day, because again, you're not spending so much time thinking about what to do. You're just doing it because you already know. And then also just remembering your whys every single day. So why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself through these hard workouts, whatever it is? I remember like in college, I used to struggle a lot with like working out when I first started, and so I would literally like go look back at photos of myself from before I started working out, And I would use those photos as motivation to get my butt in the gym because I didn't want to go back to that girl that I was, and not just the physical side, but I just knew like how depressed and just unhappy I was with myself and unconfident I was with myself, and I can see it in those photos. And so looking back at those, like that was really all I needed to be like, this is why I'm gonna keep doing it. And like your whys change as you kind of move along your journey, but whatever it is, like just reminding yourself of those every single day can just help keep you going.
I'm glad you ended with that because I feel like a lot of people, I just posted last week, like what people think exercise and eating healthy does is like weight gain or weight loss or muscle gain. When in reality, it's like, it makes you feel so much better. It's so good for your mental health. Like it relieves your stress. You feel so much more energized and just in a better overall mood all day long once you do these things. And that's why we preach it every single week when we do these talks. You might find us repeating the same things over again, but we just need you guys to understand the importance of it. So yeah, planning out your day. And for a lot of people, more than likely, you're gonna have to, you know, if you're a parent especially, like you're just gonna have to get up earlier and get these things done first thing in the morning. So a lot of our parents come first thing in the morning to our fit camps, or they can come right after work on their way home. But just making sure you're coming up with that plan. And speaking of starting simple, like you don't have to work out 5 or 6 days a week like you might see other people doing. Like we might work out 5 or 6 days a week, but we've built up to that level. So for most of our clients, it's just starting with maybe 2 or 3 workouts a week in the gym. And the other days, we like to say to include some daily movement, which is another big thing that I wanted to have everybody incorporate into their routine is try to get outside if you can. Just getting outside, getting sunlight, or even just fresh air is actually really good for relieving stress and boosting mental focus and mental clarity. Being outside and just nature pretty much is very good for us. So if you can do that, and at the same time you could get some daily movement in. So you don't have to do a 1 hour workout every day. You could go for a 10 or 15 minute walk. Would be extremely beneficial for your health, mentally and physically. So definitely wanted to include that. And then just reminding yourself of why, like she said, like you need to make sure that you know why you want to become a better version of yourself. You do all these things every single day, like go to work and take care of your kids and all this stuff. You need to set some kind of goals of like, okay, why am I putting in the work to do all these things? Why do I want to improve myself and get better, basically? Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No.
Okay. I'm just going through my list to make sure that we hit everything.
I think we did.
So I guess the biggest tip for you guys right now is just start coming up with a plan for your day. Try to incorporate a plan for waking up, going to bed. So kind of prioritize sleep, prioritize your nutrition, prioritize your exercise, and then try to plan that out so you actually are accomplishing those actions and habits that you want to do. So that would be the best way to start. And like Caitlin said, start simple and then build momentum from there. Try to get into the routine of doing some of these things and then add in more and more as you go. So hopefully this helps building out your perfect day to help you live a better life, a happier and healthier lifestyle, as that is what our goal is here, and our mission is to help everybody in our community live a happier and healthier lifestyle. So if you need help getting started, obviously that's what we're here for, so don't hesitate to reach out. But until next time, make sure you like and subscribe so you can see our future videos, and stay healthy. See you.